All right, morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions, or your favorite beverage if it's late in the day, like I always say. What are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about rope. Now, down valley, where my wife and I go, sometimes there are horses and it's a barn and all this stuff, and they bring in great big, like pallets of hay. And we use Harbor Freight tarps, and they don't last a long time. I know the criticism, but it's under a somewhat shaded area and they last me quite a while. Now, along with that, I buy their inexpensive rope. This Hallmaster rope, this 300-pound, which is criticized pretty heavily, and there's some truth to it. So let's dig into it and let's talk about this 300-pound rope and if you should buy it. Okay, that was a picture of the ad. So one of the things that people complain about is if you're securing something, the die on the rope, it can come off and it'll bleed out onto whatever it's attached to or whatever it's rubbing on. So there's some criticism about that. Yeah, that's true. It does. For what I use it for, it's still worth the price. I mean, because it's just outdoors. It's just holding down a tarp over hay. So, okay, people complained that once they used it to secure any light load, even in their truck, that a lot of times the rope will just snap and break. Now, I haven't experienced that, but there were a lot of complaints about that, so it's something to take into consideration. Along with, they said the ends on all these fray real easy, and it's hard to get them to where it's not frayed. I mean, they use like torches or a lighter or something and burn the ends and melt them, and they say that works sometimes, but then it refrays, and it's kind of like just a fragile rope. One of the people out at the club, like I told you, I belong to a couple of forums and I go out to a club. We've got 15, 18 people. We talk about tools, demo things and stuff like that. I make notes. And like I said, I bring them to you. And if there are any quick fixes, I tell you about them. There are complaints where lifting like a 5-gallon bucket that wasn't up to the rooftop, and it wasn't even close to having 300 pounds, maybe like 40 or 50. The rope just snapped and broke. So again, I don't know. It depends. It doesn't sound like it's very durable in terms of being able to hold any weight at all. Okay, now for me, like I said, it's out at a ranch, like a barn, and it's under kind of a shaded area where they deliver these huge pallets of hay, and we tarp it and we use this particular Hallmaster rope just to kind of secure it down. It's not under a lot of tension or pressure though. So it tends to last me, a while, and that's the reason why, we keep buying it. But I live in desert cities, and lately it's been up to like 120, 123, bouncing around right there. And I noticed there's part of one of these tarps where the rope was left out in the sun. It destroyed it fast. And so in one sense, I see what people are saying. It's a very light duty kind of rope. And that's just one of the limitations you're going to have to live with, or don't buy the rope to begin with. Somebody made a comment that right out of the package, you can take a close look and you'll see where the machine misweaved the rope, and you'll see snags and like little knots in it and these bundled loops of thread, and like it just wasn't actually manufactured correctly, let's say. But it's the old complaint. There's not much quality control on a lot of these products coming out of China. So just kind of be aware, of some of the things that, I'm mentioning, because you may or may not want to buy the rope. Okay, so those are the most of the criticisms right there. Now, inside of the barn, where they have other things, they've got feed and pellets and all this stuff. Again, the stuff's tarped, and we rope it down because if there's strong winds, they blow through there rather hard. Anyway, what do I use? Well, I use this stuff from Atwood. Let me show you the advertisement. Now, I use the 550-pound Paracord, and we buy it 100 feet at a time. And I can't tell you, I mean, how many times, that we've bought it, but this stuff really, especially out in the elements and in the heat. Now, I don't know so much about the freezing cold and all of that, but out in the heat, they've stood up really well. I'm going on 3 years now of using Paracord, and it works really well. But like I said, we also understand that if you want to use the lighter rope from Harbor Freight, depending on its use, you might be able to get away with it just fine, in which case the cost savings could be worth it to you. Now with the Atwood, I get it in black, and there's no color bleed through. And if you go to the link below in the description and you take a closer look, you're going to see, or do a little research on your own, you're going to see that Atwood makes an outstanding product as far as rope goes. So again, pay a little bit more. You can get the Paracord. It'll last you, like I said, I mean, we're going on, I know, 3 years or more now. And we buy Paracord for everything that we're securing, except for those huge, huge haystacks, which, like I said, we just use the cheap tarps from out at Harbor Freight. And somebody made mention, well, if you like really dissatisfied with how this particular rope from Hallmaster is, I mean, you can always use hemp. Yeah, you can use hemp rope. I mean, that might last you longer too. I'm sure that there are a lot of other brands, manufacturers, other ropes out there that, I mean, if you want to spend a little extra money, that are just as good. And, if you know of something better, of course, drop it in the comment below. But this was a quick video because they demoed this out at the little club that I belong to, and some online comments. I thought, yeah, a lot of these things are true, because once I saw the actual rope out there that one of the people had purchased, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders, because I figured, well, we're already buying it anyway, and I already know a lot of these things to be true. But thought I'd share it with you folks. Again, have a great day, and I hope to talk to you soon. Click subscribe, and I hope you give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again on the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.